Right, so here we go again. Your new songbook. Oh, beautiful, Michelle.
Oh, yes, I've got that too, yes.
Yeah. Well, I've got the latest workshop actually, which, you know, it's just come out last week.
Right, I haven't seen that one.
It's the April, May one, so, yeah. Well, just a little bit of information for Fiona.
Okay.
How much work have you done sort of like with this so far? Have you just started getting into it, feeling it out, or?
Just filling it out, yes.
Yeah. Because what we do is a thing called as Michelle told you about a dial-up that we do.
No, I haven't had a chance to.
Let me say a few things about it, because we need to understand that we're using another language, tonal signatures of an ancient DNA encryption that created the angelic human. Angelic human imprint 12-strand DNA is coded with the original language that created the DNA. So what we do is we use the Anahazi language, and now as we're progressing out, we're using other hybrid blended languages to restructure even greater joining into higher dimensional structure. So it's called hybridization theme languages. So we're actually using that. And when we do a Trinity Arc private line priming sequence, the dial-up, we're actually using tonal signatures to invite different constellations of our own high dimensional thought to come back in, and because we're making those tones, we're anchoring them in our body, and we're calling those energy conduits and configurations into our anatomy to open internal Stargate alignments and to open external Stargate alignments to get the feeds coming in to regenerate.
Cool, okay.
So that's what we're doing.
Yep.
And there's many groups that we call in here. There's a few groups here which are part of our, you might say, our team. We've also got other teachings that bring other teams and other structures of consciousness in as well. But this is a very, powerful moment of bringing a dial up. Part of what we've been doing here with these codes as well, laying these codes on the floor. Every time we put a symbol code down, it attracts that energy to it. Right, so anybody, even in this new world order, they're making symbol codes, they're tracking that energy, running those currents. Symbols, yes. Symbolization, energy structures that work in the grids of the earth. Right? So we're using the same codes, which are original part of our mathematical encryption of our original template, to restructure and restore the template into perpetual motion life.
Yeah, very good.
All right.
And that's where those crop circles come in.
A lot of those crop circles
Coding the earth
with distorted frequencies.
Are they distorted?
Most of them are distorted, and it's like intruder race lines putting a stamp and saying, we're here, that's our symbol, look at it, be coded by it, be hypnotized by it, run our currents.
Because people don't really know what
they think it's
it to the old.
There's something happening, it's something supernatural, there's something spiritual happening. Oh, I'm starting to understand what it is. But they don't realise it's like every teaching and training on the planet has been distorted for many eons.
And they're relating them to that.
They're saying, oh, these are ancient symbols, that must be true. Because they know in their ancient history, truth existed for them. But distortions have existed in recent history that brought them to this mentality now. Right? Yeah. So if we understand that everything in the planet is distorted, all teachings that have been on planet, controlled by different authorities like religions, universities, science, and all the different paradigms, they've all been corrupted and overrun by agencies of intrusion, black hole teams running their agendas to harness the system here.
That's a big thing to understand, isn't it? Yeah. It's looking at it from a very big picture.
And the only way that can be stopped is through the light changing over.
There's dark light and there's true perpetual motion light, because the dark structured light is also existing in our own matrix, and that's coding part of our reality. So what we do is we recode to the host, bringing original codes in, at the same time with that energy transmuting dark light constructs that drag us in alignment with black hole. So we're actually realigning the biological anatomy with ascension codes and disconnecting from drag you down into disaster black hole codes. Because we're carrying all distortions in our fields. We wouldn't be here if we didn't carry the distortions.
So is there any way we can not go towards the black hole?
Well, that's what this whole work's been about, and in recent times it's been running such high frequencies of distortion that many have been pulled. You know, they were trying to get out and they were escaping the escape velocity of the black hole, and they've been sucked back in because they've been putting high frequencies to wind us back in.
Because there's something
the last 3 or 4 months.
Oh, there's something like 220 billion black holes in our galaxy, so which one are we getting?
Well, the central one is the one that's feeding all the microtubes of black hole siphoning networks. So it's like your lungs have got, say, the bronchioles going in and the fibrils going into the little tendrils, and you're breathing in through them. It's like the main one feeds into the tendrils of all the other ones and harvests like a network of harvesting the atomic structure, matter base, back out and pulling energy, time rip, down the black hole. Right? So that's what's happening.
And is there a light one doing the same?
No.
Or the suns?
No, because organic system hasn't got black hole in the magnitude of this. Like I said last time, this black hole, white hole, particle, antiparticle universe that naturally function through creation point door, breathing energy through in the same space, and it's black hole, white hole, vortex energy sets. But when it goes out of control and there's a fallen matrix, it starts living off another system. It actually implodes that system, and it starts to wind the energy in, and it causes massive wormholes, black holes, and it feeds another matrix which is depleting. So they're the perpetrators of the invasion running through a matrix that they created.
So is that why gates were shut?
Gates were shut to prevent that, and that's why this is a prison planet. That's why we're all under guardianship here.
The gates all shut around us?
We've been shut down in the stations of our chakra systems to hold us in dimensionalized form so that we could, through hosting, host out again and regenerate under guardianship, so that we wouldn't not be running the black hole agenda, but we'll be running the Krystiac agenda of regenesis, which is what the original mission on the planet was. So, you know, here we are, black hole in the centre of the galaxy, a total intrusion, alien invasion. From a parallel adjacent matrix, which you call the Weasley-Wizard-Deck matrix. A long, it's billions of light years away from here. And they run wormhole, time-rip technology tunnels to infiltrate other living systems. And we're in a fallen structure that's being siphoned at the moment, very powerfully. That's why the body dies, that's why there's so much corruption in the world, that's why there's all this devastation here.
I've always believed that the Earth regenerates, and so...
It would, if it was in an organic system. It's not organic, it's in a full state. It's under invasion, and the matter base is being ripped out. So what would normally need to happen is the regenesis of the matter base and the re-spiritualization of matter would bring matter into perpetual motion and become an organic system again. It's not organic, it's in a state of fall and it's being ripped down black hole. Right?
So the more we do this sort of work and fill our chemistry like flooring the light, the more that we do that, the further we'll get away from that black hole. We will become like the organic, if you like, structure.
Yeah. That's our aim, is to go back into regenesis and get everything restored. That's always been the plan here as angelic humans on the planet, as our mission as guardians, to raise the frequency of the planet up and to get everything working back into order. But because of the intruders, they've been ripping us down, and we've been losing our power, losing our purpose, losing our function.
So that goes for each one of us individually.
Individually, we've got to do that, and collectively we do that. Yeah. And it's becoming more and more a burden on us because of what's been happening in the planet lately to get this up. And so there's been more intrusion.
They sent the Christ down?
Well, the Christ...
To show us the way out?
The Christ is your own originality, right? Christ is what you are. You are that crystal template, what we call the Christ star.
That's sort of been shut down.
It's been repressed, and we've taken on codes of control from the world of corruption, and that's been running our, mind, right, and our sense of awareness.
So for me, the more I bring the light in, the more it will tickle up that Christ centre, if you like, and that will take over.
It will, and we've got to learn the structure of consciousness, how it works, so that we can realign with the full flow of life and migrate our consciousness off the planet into higher dimensions. Right? That's what the whole teaching's about at the moment. So anyway, let's go to the Trinity Arc private line priming sequence, and we're actually lining up with the host of God's source first creation, which holds the codes of our origination. We're going to be restoring our codes and rising up out of this down drag, okay? So let's go. In the name of the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, Holy Order of the Unified Sacred House of One, Maharata Kumbai Vectors, Enemo Kai Unibli Umbai cha he he ra, patate esha longta esha hinta doe, shade ure yakum tun, shade ure yakum tun, shade ure yakum tun. Ma'a Hawete Unisa Eshadur. Hold on a second there. See these, Fiona, these symbol codes here?
Yeah.
As we do one line, this symbol code can be into the pineal gland,
Okay.
down central column, just into your body somewhere.
Okay.
It'll help to restore that template.
And you go along as you do?
Yeah, there's only 4 there, so go 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next one or 2 hasn't got one, but just do a breath anyway. So start again. Ma'a Hawete Unisa Eshadur. Ma'a Hawete Unisa Eshadur. Ma'a Hawete Unisa Eshadur. Symbol code. Down the body. Leatora Ithwa Duete Niwa. Leatora Ithwa Duete Niwa. Leatora Ithwa Duete Niwa. I am the Adondra 360 now. I am the Adondra 360 now. I am the Adondra 360 now. Adondra Iesta Ushiva Adonai. Adondra Iesta Ushiva Adonai. Adondra Iesta Ushiva Adonai. Ikusha etume shrahuta amarea. Ikusha etume shrahuta amarea. Ikusha etume shrahuta amarea. Asurashan hona yetalu. Asurashan hona yetalu. Asurashan hona yetalu. Taisha intadore. Taisha intadore. Taisha intadore. Over the page. And this is what we call the opening of the lotus in the heart chakra, which is opening in only the Krystiac way. So if everyone's ready, you got that there? Om Mate Padi Om Di Eo. Om Mate Padi Om Di Eo. Om Mate Padi Om Itu Encha Asia Nita Deo. Om Mate Padi Om Di Eo. Om Mate Padi Om Di Eo. Om Mate Padi Om Itu Encha Asia Nita Deo. Om Mate Padi Om Di Eo. Om Mate Padi Om Di Eo. Om Mate Padi Om Itu Encha Asia Nita Deo. Then we go to the next one that's called the command for initial encryptions, down about here on the page. We'll just speak it out loud. Ashalom metu ata. Ashalom metsida neutsa. Ashalom da ita oram ishu. Sade unit jeshwa di. Now we'll start with the Aquarian Crystal River Prayer, so just keep reading. The Aquarian Crystal River Prayer and Invocation for Crystal River Activation and Amplification. Part 1. Om Sate Rehalia Crystalo. The Crystal River Prayer for Sanctification. Diva Inture, Ista Intabo, Rehalia Crystalo. Iraho Itina Have. Itu tore enshahe nuvoete entaro. Siva blen urtu enkale. Dehi niva salaso enduetra don aquari. Dehi urto tradila urintaro di hatu. Cum sae ho direte ta enta crystale. Cum sae ho direte ta aqueous. Cum sae ho direte ta aquafari. Cum sae ho direte ta aquari. Cum sae ho direte ta hatu. Cum sae ho direte ta Adonai. Cum sae ho direte ta Iane. Cum sae ho direte ta Iani ma'a hoete. cum sae ho direte ta ushale zundu rosete, cum sae ho direte ta mashaya hana aquion, cum sae ho direte ta albumbra magistracy councils of cosminius and God source first eternal, cum sae ho direte ta ut aurore. Bendi duro ameja ut aurore aquion. Bendi hale ishanua ut aurore aquion. Bendi rame rathagentu ut aurore aquion. Someone come?
Grab a chair.
Grab a chair.
Where will she be?
We're halfway through the dialogue. G'day, love. How are you?
Better not let that
You just spread around a little bit. Just partway through the dial-up. Yeah. Can you move one way or the other? Moses, you're stuck in the mud. He needs a hand. You know when you were holding your arms up in the desert at that time? And I could come along and hold your arms up a bit?
Is it in your belly?
You got very tired there. Oh dear, dear, dear. So we've had a big dial up with the energies here, and all of our higher parts are very willing and cooperating with us through our willingness.
It sounds like a good plan to me.
So we got down to the end of the Bendy. These are a very interesting group of members, actually the Bendy. So let's go for now the crystal river breath. So let's go. Bring forth now the crystal river of eternal first creation. Bring forth now the healing waters of the Edom Shadi. Bring forth now the gentle wind song of the sacred unison. Bring forth here the radiant starlight of the eternally starborn. Let the crystal river flow unto my doorstep. Let the crystal river cleanse and heal my soul. May the crystal river love song all embracing emerge now from my Christ with crystal core to softly call me home. Diva into re sta in tao re havea un crystallo. Diva into re sta in tao re havea un crystallo. Diva into re sta in tao re havea un crystallo. Ashalom tai kashadun, ashalom tai kashadun, ashalom tai kashadun. Over the page to part 2. Okay, part 2. Rehavia crystallo elementi enivocae. The crystal river elemental command, invocation, Krystiac sanctification, and Salvage rite of reclamation. In the name of the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, Holy Order of the Unified Sacred House of One, in the Christic name and action of the Alhambra Magistracy Councils of Cosminius and God Source First Eternal, in the name of the Mashaya Hana Council of Aquarium, in the name of the Council of Crystal A, in the name of the Councils of Crystal River, in the name of the Councils of Aurora, we call upon the Krystiac powers of the Shah Adar Amor, eternal wind song. We call upon the Krystiac powers of the Shah Ete Dura, eternal flame of divine fire. We call upon the Krystiac powers of the Ayar Quayal, eternal water flow. We call upon the Krystiac powers of the Etalaya, Crystallay, eternal foundation stone. We call upon the Krystiac powers of the Eta Chalet, eternal fire ice ethers. We now command with the entrusted powers of Aurora light. We now invoke the eternal Christed Son to co-create, release and renew this place where we're seated, everybody here, our bodies, every incarnational record we have of our own self-identity, step down from God's source into every density and space-time matrices, every vector line event horizon, every moment in time where we have formed through experiential realities the archiving of our self-identity. Every moment in time now from our high perspective of out of mind, high above, viewing all time cycles, all continuums and all moments. Choosing again in this now moment where we have distortion fields, where we have hooks and controls and wedges and devices and machinations set into our templates through intervention. Let us now choose now to constantly follow the Krystiac pattern of our original divine intention and cleanse and purge ourselves of all distortions and manipulations that currently work through our template to our own disadvantage and the disadvantage of all people in all space-time matrices everywhere. Now we go. We now declare in eternal sanctification this place, this land, and all within, into the Krystiac protection herein set, that the power of Earth Sala rise, the power of Earth Sala heal, and the wisdom of Earth Sala here within preside, in the name of the eternal Christ of first creation, and by the divine vehicle of the Rehavia Christolo, in co-creative Christ embrace, with absolute humility, absolute love, absolute forgiving, and only absolute service to the eternal Christ and its ever-living healing devotion to all life everywhere. We banish now from this sacred place all that is unwilling to receive the absolute cleansing of the Crystallay within the covenants of divine right order and divine right timing, as only eternal God source can know. In loving Krystiac service, we offer release and host arrangement to all those present whom are in need and seek to heal within the sacred cleansing field of Earth Sala and the eternal divine flows of the Rehavia Crystalo. In Krystiac reverence, joy and gratitude for the unceasing love and mercy of the one source most divine, we end now and complete this Krystiac sanctification and salvage rite of reclamation. In the name of the one true source God eternal, in the name of the Christ divine, in the name of the Rehavia Crystalo, in the Krystiac name and action of the Alhambra Magistracy Councils of Cosminias and God Source First Eternal, in the name of the Messiah Hana Council of Aquarium, in the name of the Councils of Crystallay, in the name of the Councils of Crystal River, in the name of the Councils of Aurora, in the name of the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, Holy Order of the Unified, Sacred House of One, and in the name of your spiritual name, the eternally Krystiac, I am this I am. Taesha Interdore, Taesha Interdore, Taesha Interdore. Yeah, we've added a line in there. It's an old copy.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So now we go straight to the Song of Aurora. Has everyone got it there in front of them? Everyone ready? Go for it, Sylvia. Bitu atentae, janate uetae. Bitu atentae, ishanu enashale. Ishmata elente durefe, disala inteshe dure. Saluen le talusha inte utalehi. Mita blinde sunuake. Lava unishmatae, ojo mentesh deshali. Lava unishmatae. teshalure, tesala enurusha ente ishmanedi, leitu blena iludale, bitu atetaete, janate uetae, bitu atetaete, ishanu enashale, ishmatael ente durefe, isala ente shadure, sanuin le talusha ente utale, vita blende sunulake, lava unishmatae, uta mentes tejali, lava unishmatae, isnaveho en slavekali, mita urdu etishadae, nifake en teshalure, tesalae nurusha en teishmanei, leitu blena hirudale, bitu atetae, janate uetae, bitu atetae, ishanu enashale, ishmatael entedurefe, tisala enteshadure, samuin le talusha enteyutale, mita blende sunuake, lava unishmatae, uto meteshteshali, lava unishmatae, isnaveho ensadekali, ita udu eteshadae, nifake enteshalure, tesalae nurusha ente ishmanedi, leitu blena iruda, At the bottom of the page, it says here at the bottom, I state and affirm with unshakable conviction the will to be as the eternal Christ our body in the super-archaic Christed transcendent state opens the lunar Dale Rishabhay and first La D Sala density 2 solar passage and related flows. So that does a lot of opening up in our inner and outer realms, and for the, it says Eartha Sala when we're going through all this stuff here I think it says Eartha Sala. So let me just see if I can find it. Yeah, in the dial-up it says this place, this land, and all within into the Krystiac protection here and set, that the spirit of Eartha Sala rise, and the power of Eartha Sala heal, and the wisdom of Eartha Sala here within preside. So Eartha Sala is the hosting system just on this solar level, where our Earth is being hosted by another star at present, it's been for a long time, and it's like a respirator trying to keep us alive while we're waking up, trying to get back into a structure. So it's actually a star that's around Earth. You can't see it on our perceptual level. It's actually, we're inside of it, and it's connected into the inner dimensions, and it's through all of the dimensional structure. Its core is on the same place as the core of the Earth, and then its outer domains are much, much higher up and above than the Earth. So it's actually breathing and resuscitating Earth as we try to regenerate our structure. And it's on what we call a different angular rotation of particle spin. So it's another frequency band. We cannot observe it with our perceptual range, even though it's on the same densities and everything else. It's not just on another angle, we can't see it. So the sun also is being hosted by Sala. So Eartha is around Earth, Sala is around the sun, and all of the 12-dimensional stargates that we came down into density through, they've all got their own hosting system going back into organic structure. And that's the way we're going through the hosting system, so that we can actually go progressively in the evolution of consciousness to attain our original process of.
So that's what we're connecting to, doing all this.
We're connecting to that original hosting structure, and that's the whole teaching. We cannot gain the codes without a host, without an organic, authentic, original host that contains the codes and structure of the template of our original anatomy.
The host has always been there, hasn't it?
Yeah, but out of reach, because a lot of people are channeling into the hibernation zones, which are distortion fields, and running energy through us to set the matrix into black hole 4.
Wasn't Jesus the key?
Well,
Wasn't he the host?
see, there's a whole lot of controversy over the Christian religion, Jesus idea. Now, I believe there's a Jesus, but this teaching says there's 3 Jesuses that came.
The Trinity.
No, not the Trinity, but there's 3 Christ characters that came on the earth simultaneously at that time. It's around about 2,000 years ago, historically, as we record it here. One of them was J12, which is a 12th dimensional frequency band avatar that came in to do the teachings, present the teachings.
In physical form?
In physical form.
From Pandora?
No. He came through a 6th dimensional time gate, could come in here from 12th dimension, step down, came in the 6th dimension, in through Earth core, came up through the gates, came upon as an energy that came into the mother, just like we're all conceived immaculately through energy, right? It was like an energy that came into a fetal integration that turned out that when he incarnated into that body that was prepared for him, the body was carrying enough frequency through the lineages that brought the body form into line, right? So 42 generations actually, in the Bible story, it's from Abraham to Christ, 42 generations of preparing a frequency body that was able to incarnate this level of integration to manifest here with that energy, right?
So that's separate from Jesus the Christ as we know it. That's a separate one or blended?
See, the Bible blends all of the stories into one, and there's many different facets of this Christ energy or Christ character or historical reference. So there's lots of different distortions, but what this teaching is saying is there was a J12 who came in to bring the teachings called Kathara Freedom Teachings, and he was teaching with other speakers at the time, because at that time there was a stellar activation cycle where the energy could flow from high dimensions in and people could accept it and receive it and get their ascension process running. But in that time it was blocked again by interference, and radar race lines blocked the ascension process through many time manipulations that even are operating on the planet now.
So if we clear our ancestral lineages back to Abraham...
Yeah, but because what this is talking about...
Our ancestors...
the Christ story comes from Abraham, but we're even in doubt whether those lineages are pertaining to the J12. It was also incarnating at the same time at J9, which is a 9th dimensional frequency entity that came into the Middle East, around Palestine at that time, called, was a part Anunnaki, part Krystiac. So we've all got hybrid codes. No, and it was one who called himself Jeshua.
Jesus' grandfather.
Was Jeshua doing the miracles, like healing people, raising the dead. Anybody can do that if you're a 9th dimensional, but you still haven't got eternal life. You still die as a body because you haven't got the connection of perpetual motion to take the body up into formlessness again.
So that would have been in physical form as well.
Yeah, physical form.
Yeah.
Ross has got that.
Well, if she's got her 15-dimensional matrix in place and it's true Christic realities, she'll be able to take the body up and down, which is why we're originally here, is to transform all the lineages that brought the body here, incarnate the Christic reality and flood back down the lines of inheritance so that all the ancestors would come online with the resurrection process, right? Because they're living their life through us to try to perpetuate their agenda,
Yeah, that's
right? So we're carrying all that burden. But
that's okay, we chose.
the J9 was one who was going around Galilee and around the Middle East there, doing miracles and everything else. That's what part of the Bible story. J12 was the one doing the teachings. He came through the Essene camp as well. And he also came with the Magi from the Ur of the Chaldees, the inner earth Magi that came.
Did they look the same, the two of them?
No.
Because people wouldn't really have...
They wouldn't have known because they were working independently.
Yeah, they didn't have cameras or things like that.
And the other one was Arahabi, which was also part of the whole process of the religious structure to fulfill the Hebrew obligation of sacrificial God. There's no such thing as a sacrificial true God source, right? God doesn't sacrifice. God never ever wanted a sacrifice. Right. So all the biblical stories are rolled into one. And this one on the cross did actually die in a physical, historical setting. It was actually a guy called Arahabi roped into the process and given certain rights for performing that function. It's all setting a religious scene so that religions could control people through the distortions and through all of the things that you see today in
So
religion.
when that happened, what about the other two?
Well, one of them apparently just went over to India and over to Japan and all around the
So
place.
that was another one. So,
It's J9,
okay.
doing miracles and
Yeah.
raising the dead. I mean, this is what I've learned. If you can raise the dead and manifest instantaneously, it doesn't mean to say you've got eternal life. It means you're running higher frequencies of time field manipulation where you can do matter manifestation and that. Right? Doesn't mean you've got your eternal life.
So did the one that died on the cross, so did he really depart and the other two were left?
There's a thing called the True Christmas Story, and it's on the internet. You can buy it from the site. And it talks about this. And the Arahabi was actually given some, for performing that role, was given some Ascension assistance through performing that role. I don't know how it's implicated, because to me it's a religious structure, right? And we're trying to break out of the religious control doctrines. We're trying to come back into the, hey, my original self is incarnating into this body. Through the teachings and the practice of the techniques and the alignment with the host, I can bring this body back into perpetual motion life flows and, take my body up and out of here, right? That's the original teachings, right? Migration of your, restoring your body back to life.
Yeah.
Because at the moment it's a body of death, right?
Dust to dust.
Dust to dust. And many people have said, oh, I'm just going to go through my incarnational cycles, and every time I reincarnate, I'll just be progressing along the natural progress of evolution. That's not the natural progress of evolution. Reincarnation became necessary because of the implications of death, which was inside the atomic structure, dragging us down continuously.
So if we can reincarnate, how magical is that?
Yeah, but we are the incarnates here. Here we are, reincarnated again, having another try to overcome death in the body.
But we'll just reincarnate again.
But you'll do it again with less quota, unless you've created more
Planet's
quota.
evolving and it can't be less.
No, the planet's in a Death Star. It's going on. The planet's being depleted very badly at the moment. It doesn't regenerate us into evolutional cycles of reincarnation in an increasing ability to ascend. No, we're going in a depleted reincarnational cycle because of the drag.
I don't think God would sacrifice the planet.
God doesn't sacrifice anything.
No,
We are the
so why
guardians.
would the planet be sacrificed?
He sent us here. He sent us here to regenerate the
I
structure.
don't believe it's a he.
Well, she.
Well, no, these ideas of genderizing were invented by the stupid churches along with
that,
trinities and
all
duopolies. And
so, okay, he, she, it, source of life, which creates all things through us, its offspring, creates everything through us, its offspring.
No, we are created through it.
No,
The mind of
it
God.
creates things through us, its offspring, so that it would experience life through us, and we would be one with it.
Co-creators.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Co-creators with Source to create our own experiential reality, so that Source would know itself through us all.
So as we individually all do that, that's sort of Earth doing it as well. Like we are assisting Earth.
Our original reason for being here was regenesis. Because Earth fell out of a higher dimension, fell into a low dimension.
Fell from grace.
Because of the intruder raceline distortions on the second harmonic, it fell into a first harmonic low density regenesis mission. We came on as a seeding of human angelics to come into here to restructure the flows of the hologram to get Earth back into a frequency of ascension. And intruder racelines came here and played around with us and caused us to be hybrids and more controlled in their genetic structure to keep on pulling. We would become the slaves to encapsulate the planet even more rather than lift it up.
Gee, they need to be banished, don't they?
So these are the parts of ourselves. These are the parts of ourselves. These intruder race lines are the parts of ourselves that we're here to also help to restore. But at the same time, we can't be sucked into their game. We're going to be ascending anyway, and the offer is always given: peaceful co-evolution of all species. To all species and forms that would come into the regenesis mission, you're given a new covenant of peace, and as you do come under guardianship to get the regenesis, so would you be letting go the old codes that you're running.
So will they evolve?
Well, everything in Source returns to itself, whether it goes through space dust return, whether it goes through, a cycle of regenerating just before space dust return, or there's different kind of pathways that we can take, 3 Krystiac pathways we can take in this sort of teaching. So, and they're all worthwhile, and they're all loving.
Why can't we do the whole 3 of them?
Because you can only go one. Because you can't, you can either ascend through
What are the three, Grant?
Kali Krista, which is Kale, Kali Krista, which is a Christ star ascension.
Kali?
Kale, capital E,
Oh.
Kali Krista, which means it's a Christ star return to source. You have overcome the distortions in your field, you've taken your body up, you've turned back to light, and boom, straight back to source, right? Through the matrix that's already existing there as a living structure.
But then, sort of, what happens? Wouldn't we come back and do the second cross spiral?
Well, I mean,
Possibly.
you get out of here, but the thing is, what we've been taught is you get your gateways open, then you stay here as a doorway to help others come through. So that's part of the teaching, right? So you become
So
the door.
that's still...
I am the door, I am the gate, I am the sheep gate, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. I am the door through which you come because I've made my complete ascension. I'm choosing. I'm choosing to stay here as a manifestation of a deliberate illusion of myself. In other words, I'm not really here, it's just my higher mind is projecting an illusion that can interface with this world, and I'm becoming a doorway that can help transform others to come in and get their codes and come up.
So
Right?
sacrifice.
I am the open door that no man can shut.
Yeah, well, that's what he says. I can shut doors that no man can open, I can open doors that no man can shut. That's the power of the frequency field that runs this whole perpetual motion organic system. So that's number one, Kali Krista. The next one is called Kali Rama, which means, okay, those who can't make it now, they know they're falling down into the black hole matrix. They haven't got enough quotient, they haven't got enough potential in their fields to overcome the drag down of the black hole pull.
And the only thing that would overcome that would be grounding the light more, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be doing the techniques, getting connected with the
Yes,
host,
yes.
transmuting the codes that are pulling you down.
Yeah.
And that can only happen now with the latest technology which is coming in, overriding all of those other massive controls that are in the planet today. There's massive controls in the planet today on a very, very high frequency level. So Kali Rama is, we know that we're going down, and that's where the Buddhist teachings came in. They knew they were coded going down, but they had grace and comfort, compassion and helpfulness on the way down, because they knew that at the end of that path they were being back into God's source creation doorway to come into restructuring because of their participation in the comforting of those who you know, okay?
That's a big one.
Very, very wise.
And so that's the second path. It's a Krystiac path. And the third Krystiac path is called Kali Dima, which means Kali Rama is going to birth back out again into new origins, right?
Yeah.
Kali Dima goes right back down to actual space dust with a certain amount of quanta that's held in the space dust particles. And all of us who are in the beginning hold a memory of all of us who are in the whole creation. So we say, I'm holding a memory of you. Even if you choose to go down to Kali Dima, to dust particles, I am holding, and we collectively are holding the knowledge of you, so that as soon as you come down into reusable structure, you'll be recreated back up very, very quickly through the memory we hold of you because of your Krystiac intention.
Right.
Those who go to space dust with no Krystiac intention are going into kind of like an annihilation and starting over again in the basic elements of any universe coming part, into formation, like gas particles, into different kind of crystalline structures, into kind of different bodies that are coming out and emerging as evolving consciousness. Right? So you lose your identity, integrity in a true space dust Illuminati kind of black hole fall team leader. You just lose all kind of hope of keeping any integrity in your entity.
That's a big sacrifice, isn't
Well,
it?
that's you losing yourself and starting again, but in God mind, it doesn't matter because it's God, a part of God's self, saying, oh, well, I'll just regenerate myself in some form, but it might take billions of years, but so what?
Might be a dolphin or something.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
Right, but in the way we have integrity now, we want to build on our integrity, we want to use the potentials we've got, and we want to experience higher dimensional life, perpetual motion life, and all the wonderment of the creative ability that we're naturally given. That's what we want to do.
Our dad used to say that we only live on in the memory of the living.
Yeah. Well, the living, those who hold a memory, they had their hope in their children, and it's a consensus energy that's running in the consciousness of the planet, and they're always hoping their children will overcome. Why? because we want to heal our ancestral lines, those still riding on our back who got the hope in us to fulfill something, right? So you stand up and say, my hope is not in my children, my hope is in me resurrecting from the dead. My hope is in me attuning to my higher dimensional structures and bringing life back into this body of death. That my hope is in myself, and it's not going to be hope, it's going to be hope fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's going to be fulfilled, and even if it's not, Asciana says there's no disgrace in actually letting a body drop back to dust, because we're doing the accretion of all the quotient of energy that's building in the, the regenesis of the 12-strand DNA or higher. We're generating, rebuilding the strands, and we're rebuilding and activating the chakra systems. So strand 1, 2, 3, chakras 1, 2, 3. The next harmonic, strand 4, 5, 6, chakras 4, 5, 6. And so we're getting greater and greater accretion of energy, quantum generation that's actually lifting us higher. So if we did drop a body, we could go into a higher dimensional planetary system somewhere already with the consciousness to evolve into a living structure. Right?
Didn't we all come from dust? Or
No.
Only
Well,
those particular ones. In that third.
It's important to know that when God's source steps down into density and all the elemental forms come in through density and molecular compaction, we're like a microcosm of the macrocosm. We come into onto an earth body, and we are formed kind of in through a body that contains dust.
Stardust.
But
Physicality.
Joni Mitchell, you know that Woodstock song?
Yes.
That little, he popped that right in there. We are stardust, we are million-year-old carbon, and we got to get
We're
ourselves
diamonds,
back into the garden.
we are.
I mean, just,
Some people have got the
she
insight
might
and they
not
write
have fully
the
known
songs.
what she was saying, but...
Yeah, because that's it. We are, because this one here, the vow to the deity. Where is the other one? The vow to the deity. No, the other one.
The new one you gave us?
No, you haven't got it there, you guys. But it says that. I'll read it out. It's called the Krystiac Declarium, and this is saying that we came from Christ's star. We came from the Christ star seed atom, and we came down into matter manifestation, and we're taking on the dust of the earth in a body.
Yeah.
But we're going to combine the body with the spiritual reality, and we're going to re-spiritualize the matter, right? Because the matter, re-spiritualization of matter is what we're here to do, because it's the combination of all of the harmonics that's going to constitute our reality.
Atomic.
It's going to be a whole range of the harmonics that's going to constitute our self-identity. We're not just going to be up here. We have to have journeyed into space-time. We have to have gone through all these anchoring space-time realities. We have to know the extensivity of all of it so that we can be it.
Yeah.
Right, it's got to come into that, right?
So wouldn't it be like evaporating if we just turned back into water?
We actually reconstitute elementally the different kinds of matter that work on the different harmonics. But, like the 144 subatomic tones, they're called, sound tones. If Dimension 1 holds 12 subharmonics. Dimension 2 holds 24, Dimension holds 36. So on 36 it holds all the lower ones. So when you get up to the other harmonic universe, 144 on Dimension 12, you hold all of the 144, right? And then on the antiparticle universe, you've got 168.
Going down.
No, it's on the other side, existing in the same space. Existing in the same space, you've got particle, antiparticle running through each other in the atoms, right? Breathing through creation point door to create this hologram of manifestation here. So on the other side, there's 168 elements. This side, there's 144 elements. There's 312 elements. And when those 312 elements blend together, they belong to you. You're not losing any of them, but you've got them through the operation of a higher, much higher consciousness that can take them up or down, go to any space-time reality, because you've travelled through those parts and you've claimed them as your inheritance through walking it out.
How come there's more in the anti?
Well, because it's 6s and 7s. It's like at 6s and 7s. Like it's 168 hours in a week, 144 hours in 6 days. It's like at 6s and 7s. It's like it's a 13th.
Balance, really.
No, it's the way that things work into the 13th dimension. To go into the 13th dimension, you've got to have that, and then the 14, 15 go together with that. So it's like it's just a structuring of it. So even like every thought of your mind, whenever you say a word through a thought, That thought is a constellation of a configuration of energy that comes into you, into your apparatus, that you speak it as a tonal signature, and it actually creates matter manifestation.
Somewhere.
Well, when you get really together with yourself, you can instantaneously manifest any physical reality in your field that you so require or desire. Right? That's instantaneous matter manifestation. Right? But that's only a part of it. You want to be able to manifest this body or de-manifest this body or transport this body or get all of your self-identity realities, all the aspects to work together simultaneously and create an energy field that can create star systems, can create galaxies. Right?
So really, by that time you'd become pure spirit, or if you like, God, or whatever.
Source or life.
Or,
You can use any word because you can't describe it really.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't do that already?
Show me.
There.
Right, I've done some
You see
things.
that over there near Mars?
Yeah, I saw it. Where's the telescope? Where's the telescope?
I might have.
I've seen things happen through my body like that. In my book, I write a little bit about that because it happened, when those doves instantaneously manifested. It's like there's a power there of ancient ways that we used to do things. That's why I know the ancient parts of us used to already be doing all this stuff. Travelling through the stars and the galaxies, we're flying all around the place. We used to do that all the time. But we've been shut down by intruder race line interference, and we've been limited and controlled by the mind program system here, called the net interference, metatronic net.
All because we have to live a life here in 3D.
Trying to
All
survive.
galaxies can come here. It's like a Star Wars is being played out on
Well,
this planet.
this planet is a very hot property at the moment. And they're all trying to incarnate through here because Earth is Universal Stargate 3, Sun is Universal Stargate 4, all the hosting stars are. And so there's many, many incarnating on the planet at the moment, trying to jump bodies, body snatching, trying to get into bodies, trying to get up to higher dimensions and intrude into higher dimensions. That's why it's all been quarantined now. Quarantined,
so
shut
they're
down.
not really relying on being born as a child.
No.
They're just taking
Body snatching.
Walk-ins.
Walk-ins will come in under contract, but under contract, it can be dark side, light side. Walk-ins can come from any kind of agenda, right? Body snatching is always dark.
But if the body they were wanting to snatch, if that was not of their vibration, they couldn't come into it, could they?
How about this one? There are some race lines that tag along over many generations, progressively leaving a seed in every evolution, and when it finally gets up over a distance of time, they can completely come in because they've already set the codes in through past incarnations.
Wow.
Right?
How do they set their codes in?
They set the codes in probably through, just like with the femme fatale, what we call femme angelic races, femme fatale, which they're a feminine energy that tags along with a male energy and constantly companions with them, get together to get their fields together and kind of infiltrates their fields through
You're
intrusion.
talking about like a human male, but it's a
Human man.
like succubus and incubus, that kind of thing.
Those succubus and incubus are some of the kind of entity realities that do tag on over generations until they finally get the incarnation
I've
ready.
discovered that.
Patients that have to do it over all
They'd
those.
be watching the lineage, wouldn't they?
They do watch and they do follow and they do put people together time and time again. Yeah. These are the contracts that are on the dark side up there that people are unaware of. And
Is that why some people can't meet their partners or their twin souls? I have a lot of people that come for readings and they just want to meet their mate. And
everyone's looking for a mate and they reckon there's a true mate. But I was just talking to Shamira before. In this work they talk about Tantriasia, which is like tantrics. Tantriasia says A-J-A.
oh, sorry.
Tantriasia. And it's like in high dimensional structure we have a contract where the energy is split and comes down into two forms, feminine, masculine energy.
And that's really what the search is, deep
The search is
down,
for
isn't
this
it,
union
joining it,
to find itself in this space-time,
In the body.
and everyone's looking for someone else. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is
It's
it?
not that at all.
It's not that at all because on the high level, and now we're activating ourselves, we're actually starting to set frequencies of who are they, where are they, and people are starting to pick up and they start to reorganise their hunt for,
I don't care if I have one or not.
It doesn't matter.
Couldn't give a rat's.
No, it doesn't matter if you have one or not because you can actually do things on a level like that where you actually can
I
combine it.
don't I'm not looking for something to complete me.
No, we don't need anything to complete us, but there are frequencies that are transmitted into the Earth grid through that union that puts it out into the grid, that starts to heal the rift between male and female energies.
Yeah.
So that was why it's been first done in the shield, was to actually usher that energy of the union and the reunion of a true Tantra-Asia twin set back into the field so others can start to emanate and start to connect together and get themselves together, because when they come together, they've only one up there anyway, because they came from that one.
That's all in the Saint Germain books with the twin flame.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go anywhere near Saint Germain stuff at the moment. Tell you why.
Yeah, why?
Because this is what the work's about. I'll show you a video in a short time. Actually, what is the time, Sylvia?
The clock's here late.
Oh no, it's not. No, that's not right. Twenty past 4, 3:30.
Okay, so what we'll do.
No time.
How about we have a quick cup of tea? But I'll just explain before. I'll turn that on after.
Actually, the time will be on your laptop.
Yeah, it'll be on there.
So, Grant, can I just ask you, or clarify in my head, I suppose, you know, the one
3:30.
that divided into male, female, when we've got the balances right in our body so that we've got the male, female energies right, well, that will automatically...
I think that's a part of it, and that's
another.
another stream that she talks about. It's another stream of unity that she talks about, like you say. It's not everyone going to pair off, but there are certain circumstances where pairs come and they set a unity through that double amping of the field. Right? It's like a double amplification of the field. They bring it in and woof, out it goes into the shield. What's been happening with Saint Germain?
Yes.
I wasn't really meaning Saint Germain.
No.
But go on.
No, I just sort of
Yeah,
say
go
that.
on. Yeah.
Because Asha talks about that in slides 11 and 10, actually about the Tantra-Asia twin set.
Right.
So there's a lot more information. I can't bring it all off the top of my head, but I've got a bit of it, right?
A lot of it.
So,
Go on.
about Saint Germain and the violet array of transfiguration or transmutation or whatever it is, what we've found out is, in the latest workshop or two, the plasma fields, which are very high frequency,
Around the globe.
but in and through a lot of things, it's like transcends all matter manifestation, pre-matter light and all that, and that primal, that come through the deity inner planes and also through the outer reality planes of high dimensional frequency. It's called plasma currents. And we're doing the work on the plasma body, luminary body, plasma body, we're getting all the body layers in line. But the plasma body is connected to the inner original 7 core flows and the 7 outer flows and the one 15-dimensional bridge. It's 7 bridges and a 15-dimensional union of those 7 like rainbow colours that come out as plasma fields that start to generate every other step down into matter from that. So the plasma fields of violet, blue and green have been compromised on a very high frequency level. And she talks about it in this workshop, about how they synthesize, they capture, these are the intruder parts that are fallen structure, they capture and synthesize a facsimile plasma stream, which has its own codes of control and everything set into it, but it's not the original source plasma flows.
Plasma's in our blood, isn't it?
Plasma's in your blood, which is a very...
All plasma.
Plasma is like in your blood, it's in a central place, so it's a core encryption, it's in, everything works out into radial bodies. So plasma is a core and an external reality, right? So plasma and Saint Germain and all those guys, we don't talk about who it is, we just talk about the teachings and the energies that are running the control systems here.
But did they start off with a good intent, like the violet flame that was brought here in the 50s? And
I would say that was a new age kind of a hibernation zone intrusion that had such an energy with it, and people saw so much transformation that they got encapsulated in the idea of tapping into high dimensional structure, not realising that it was a very subtle control doctrine to get people involved in it, right?
But Grant, there's got to be more to it than that, hasn't there? Like it was given at that time, surely for
to purify
like a deeper consciousness.
People are waking up, and because there is a stellar activation cycle here and cosmic waves are coming in holding information, people are going to wake up in this time cycle, and preempting the wake up, there's been a lot of controls put in place to lock people into hibernation zones to keep them away from the true flows. So Asciana goes into it in a lot of detail in the latest workshop, how it's happened, why it's happened. She says back in the 60s you had the hippies and the flower movement. That was run by a certain intruder race line. Then they introduced
marijuana.
Marijuana, LSD, and they introduced the wild rampant sex parties and all the other stuff that happened as a control to keep people away from a natural flowering of consciousness that was about to come into the planet. Right? And other intruder race lines have been running other agendas that people are caught into, unwitting of it.
Yes.
Everyone's been unwittingly caught. Everyone, without exception on the planet, has been unwittingly caught in something here.
Yeah.
Right? We all have.
Stepping in dog poo.
You do it. You step in dog poo.
God.
And you say, what's that?
See that?
Right? So that's the whole process now. That now, the last resort is the aquiline sun, which is a bit lighter than this. The aquiline sun is about that colour. The aquiline sun is the central core, first primal sun that primes the other frequencies as they come out as plasma streams. The 6 of the plasma streams have been corrupted, and they've got a facsimile kind of plasma energy, but the core one can never be corrupted, and that is what's running now in these many, many galaxies in this universe, because they've never had in the multi-cosmoses, multi-cosmayas, they've never had a situation where they've had to pull out like big guns, so to speak, to actually come and override encryptions from the top and from the core to actually start to run circuits within all of the time matrices to restore things.
The science has now proven inside our brain and things that looks like those plasmic fields.
Look, the whole body is a replication of it's a microcosm of a macrocosm, even though it's holding many distortions. There's many, many things. From the core out, you can see everything that's created.
Connected.
Yeah.
I don't know about anybody here, but I'd like to know. In the past few months, I've been feeling a lot of what it feels like flame or plasma type energy. It's not the television, you know, but it's
She talks about that. It happened in April, and it's still continuing to a certain degree now. It's like
transfer towers.
I almost, you know,
They've increased.
I'll tell you.
from the inside.
I'll tell you what.
It's a real flame, a type of
Plasma is coming into the planet in unnatural ways, and it's the distorted plasmas of the intruder race lines that you know, facsimiles. There's 73 harp-like ionic atmospheric radio control things around the Earth.
I got that too, right. That's
And
always the
there's
connection.
chemtrails in there that are amplifying all of these fields. So what they're doing is normally they bounce off the ionosphere, do mind control with the harp, right, all around the world, and do weather wars and everything else. What they've done now is they've turned them up. So we're in one harmonic universe here. The next harmonic universe up here, there's what we call a repulsion zone between the harmonic universes, got a natural ceiling to contain us here until we evolve our consciousness. The harp atmospheric ionic heaters are actually radiating these signatures up into there and opening frequency bands to let these false plasmas come in. It's happened since April.
Oh, that's about right.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
It's happened since April.
Quite disturbing.
It's very disturbing because you're hot, cold, you feel everything going on, and you're freezing, you're hot, and all this stuff, and it's like, and you feel really weird, and that.
Your skin goes through all kinds of.
It's
like
working all the layers of the body.
changes from the inside out.
So this is what's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we got this solution to it is on a meditation that I'll play after I've done a bit of this DVD. So let's have a cup of tea, and